Alright, so you guys want to talk about how to CLEP out of classes. Let's go ahead and go to collegeboard.org. And collegeboard.org is where you're going to be able to, they're the administrators of the CLEP test. So when you go to the College Board website, that's where you're going to be able to find all the courses that are available, as well as some specific information about testing out of a college class. Now we're at the College Board website. We can go ahead and scroll down, go over to where it says CLEP tests. Here, this is where you're going to be able to see all the different tests that are available to you. So you can go to CLEP exams. Just say most people probably want to test out of like history or social sciences, because that's probably going to be the lowest barrier for most people. Sociology, I tested out of this one in like 72 hours of studying, just to be totally honest. So you go down here and you can see the test. So you can see the test costs $87. If you're in the military, then that's going to be free at your local testing center. We can see they've got study guides and all kinds of stuff, but the most important thing is going here and just look at the introduction. So you can see exactly what the overview of the test is. Here's the knowledge and skills they're going to test you on, and the percentages of the test that cover which different material. So here, you can copy and paste this table, and you know exactly what you need to be pulling out of the information to be able to pass the test. So there's 25% of your test. There's the biggest section of your test, 25%, is on social stratification, aging, power, social inequality, professions, occupations, race and ethnic, sex and gender, social class, social ability. So whenever you see something about those topics in the text, between social stratification and social processes, there's half of your test. So that's the biggest thing that you're going to have to factor your study into. Right here with study resources, overarching questions you want to ask yourself, and then here's the next thing, textbooks. So this is what I'm going to use to pick what I want to, text I want to buy to study to pass the test. So you got a lot of different books here. So how do I know which one I want to use? So the biggest thing that you're going to want to see is like, hey, what are colleges using right now to teach Sociology 101, right? Because all these CLEP tests are usually going to be the 101 class. A lot of times on like a community college website, you can find their okay, so here we go. This is the sociology textbook that Glendale Community College uses. So the Pearson textbook by this John guy. All right, so let's see if that is on here. Yep, there we go. Society, sociology, Prentice Hall, Pearson. So not the same book. Not the same book. So let's go try to find a different one. See what El Camino College is using for sociology. At El Camino College, Intro to Sociology, Seagull by Giddens. All right, let's see about old Giddens text. Giddens, Essentials of Sociology, published by Norton. Giddens, Sociology, Norton's. All right, cool. So now we've got a textbook. 8th edition is what they're using. Guess what? I'll bet 6th edition is pretty cheap. So let's take that and let's go to the old Amazon.com. See if we can find that book. All right, Giddens Sociology by Norton. Let's see, Essentials of Sociology. Oh, $495. No thanks. Not exactly what I want to look We got 38 new and used, 12 results. All right. Let's check this out. 38 new and used offers for $3.92. $3.92. Sounds a little bit better. Alright, so this is the first edition. It was in 2006. So it might be a little bit old because when they're testing you about gender, I mean, let's be honest, not saying I buy into all of it, but they've changed a few things about gender in the last 10 years. So Essential Sociology, 6th edition. No, but the 10th edition, check this out. $8 for the 10th edition. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Intro to Sociology by Giddens. Right? So now we're going back to our Essential to Sociology by Giddens. Intro to Sociology, Seagull by Giddens. Alright, cool. So we got Intro to Sociology by Giddens, $10, $8 right there. Alright, add to cart. That's what you want. $8 for the textbook, right? Super easy. Alright, so now let's go back here. Alright, so now we've got a textbook by Giddens that we know colleges are using for their Sociology 101 class. So we got ourselves the right textbook. We can overnight that thing to ourselves, and for $20, we got everything we need to study. Alright, so now we can close out our community college. Thank you, El Camino. Community college, I'm sure it's a great school, but we're not going to go to it. We're just going to pass this test and be done. Alright, so you wonder about, like, what do I need to pass? We need a 50. That's not 50% of the questions right. That's on a bell curve. So you need to score at or above what the average college student who graduates this class with a C would get on that class. So that's what the 50 is. Is, hey, with the average college graduate with a C, whatever he scores, that's what you guys score. And then you get 3 semester hours. Alright. That's how you get your ACE credit. Alright, now we really need to dig into this and figure out, like, hey, how exactly are we going to pass this thing? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the end of chapter questions in the textbook, and I'm going to take all the end of chapter quizzes. And I'm going to grade myself. If I got like a 75% or higher, I may not even read that chapter. If I got less than a 75% correct, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to see which ones I missed that have to do with these topics: institutions and their subtopics, social patterns and their subtopics, social processes and subtopics, social stratification, sociology perspective. All right, so the questions that I missed that had to do with these things, I missed a bunch of questions that had to do with deviance and social control. I'm going to go back and read that section, and then I'm going to make sure that I understand that better. So now when I have a decent understanding of all those things, then and only then am I going to come up here and I'm going to order a practice test or a study guide. This exam guide. Also, you got this thing at a glance. That's what I was looking for earlier. All right, so you got your breakdowns here. You got your breakdowns. Also have your study resources and sample test questions. So you can see the kind of what the test questions are going to look like. Some of these, if I go through and I crush all the end of chapter questions, I feel pretty good about it. I may not even take a practice test. But if you do want to take a practice test, you can order it here for $10, Or you can go to your local library and find the CLEP official study guide, and this same practice test that you buy here for $10 is going to be in this study guide with practice questions. So you can go to the library, you can sit yourself down for, let's see, how long is the test? 100 questions, 90 minutes. So you can sit down and you can sit down at the library, get this CLEP study guide, and set your clock for 90 minutes and take that 100 question test. You can also go online after you take it. If you say, hey, is that a good enough score to pass, you can find the raw score conversion chart. How to determine your CLEP score. There we go. Let's see here. Let's see if we can, because we know what we got on the test. Now we took our 90 question test. Like, hey, like what did I get? Well, so right here, like, you know, take your score. Like if you got 75%, like you got more than 65%, you probably passed. All right, so it used to be super easy to find CLEP score conversion charts, but I've been looking around and I'm having a really difficult time finding the raw to scaled score conversion charts. And I used to be able to find them online, but suffice it to say, if your raw score needs to be better than what the average college student with a C gets, you don't have to score that high. So if you're getting 75% of your answers correct the first time you take your practice exam, then I would say you're pretty safe to take the exam. The big risk with that is once you've taken the practice exam, if you don't do well on it and you go back to study, any subsequent times you take that practice exam are obviously going to be biased because you've already seen the questions. So you're going to score artificially high because when you go back and study, you're going to be consciously or unconsciously looking for those answers. So make sure that you have gone through make sure when you first get your textbook that you go through it with the goals outlined in the at a glance document on the College Board website. Make sure you go through and learn all of those topics and all of those subjects, so that way when you take your practice exam, you're confident that you're complete with studying. You're just taking that practice exam to verify that you're going to be able to pass. Because once you go take your CLEP test, if you fail it, you're not going to be able to take it again for 6 months. So I don't know about you, but 6 months down the road, all those penguins have left my iceberg. So there's a little bit about how to find out what CLEP tests are available for you, how to select a study guide for the CLEP test, how to determine what information is going to be on the CLEP test, and how to make sure that you're prepared for that CLEP test before you go. I guess the last thing you really need to know is how do I register for the CLEP test. So right here, we can go in here to CLEP exams, and then go to schedule your CLEP exam. Now, if you're in the military, your education center is going to be where you want to go. So whatever education center is available on your base, you'll sign up for a CLEP exam with them. It'll be free to you. You'll just have to show up during the designated testing times. Usually they're pretty restrictive on what times are available. It's several days, certain days a week during certain hours. If you are already in college or have a college or community college nearby, you'll be able to contact them and you'll be able to register for a CLEP exam directly with them. Usually their hours are a little bit more flexible, but you'll be paying the $89. And if you don't have a college available, or you're not in the military, or you just want to find a different testing center, you can go right here, find a CLEP test center, and we can utilize the tools below to find out, use wherever you're at. United States, let's say you're in Connecticut, and you can just search for test centers. So there you go. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about CLEP testing.